Good evening, my friends, and welcome to episode 1 of Blueprince. This is a very exciting game because it's not often a puzzle game breaks into the Steam top sales charts. This has been out for about 2 weeks, and it has already amassed 4,500 reviews. Is this the new Outer Wilds? Is it the new Witness? Is it the new Portal? We're going to find out. This is a blind playthrough. I've been trying to keep totally spoiler free. The only things I really know about this game going into it is people say it's a bit like Outer Wilds, which might just mean that it's good, right? Like, who knows? I do know that it has some kind of roguelike elements, which might be the reference to Outer Wilds if it has some kind of time loop mechanic. And I know that it has something to do with rearranging the rooms in a house to solve puzzles. Hence the pun, Blueprince. Other than that, we're going in pretty blind here, so let's go check it out. Oh, it's exciting! It's episode 1. Dogya Bomb presents. So Raw Fury's the publisher, I guess? So I don't know much about the development of this game, but a game by Tonda Ross. Is this a solo project? Is this a single developer game like Lucas Pope or Jonathan Blow?
I, Herbert S. Sinclair of the Mount Holly Estate at Reddington, do publish and declare this instrument my last will and testament, and hereby revoke all wills and codicils heretofore made by me. I give and bequeath to my grandnephew, Simon P. Jones, son of my dear niece, Mary Matthew, all of my right, title, and interest in and to the house and land which I own near Mount Holly. The above provision and bequest is contingent on my aforementioned grandnephew discovering the location of the 46th room of my 45-room estate.
Love the setup.
The location of the room has been kept a secret from all the staff and servants of the manor, but I am confident that any heir worthy of the Sinclair legacy should have no trouble uncovering its whereabouts within a timely manner.
Okay.
Should my grandnephew fail to uncover this room or provide proof of his discovery to the executors of my will, then this gift shall lapse.
Is there a time limit?
In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand this 18th day of March, 1993. Herbert S. Sinclair.
Blueprints. I was expecting it to be more of a Death's Door style big font on the DOM reveal. Day 1. It's an interesting art style, isn't it? It kind of reminds me of it kind of weirdly reminds me of like Time Splitters, you know? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is walk out. Why do I have 50? What is that in the corner? 49. The grounds. I mean, the first thing I'm going to do before checking out any building is, of course, check out the outside of the building, right? Locked. Do we have... No, we do not have a jump button. We do not have a jump button. So, I genuinely do not know whether this is a like a hidden object game, like we're expecting to pick up keys and like tools and things like lockpicks or crowbars or so on, or whether this is a simply like a pure mystlike codes and clues kind of affair. Right, we got... Well, it looks like a crowbar would be incredibly helpful there. I have no idea if we have guardrails or not. So let's not try and jump off there. Oh, wow. This must be much, much larger than it appears if we've got archers down there. We do have sprint on shift. There we go. A tunnel? Like, I've no idea if we're actually kind of like messing up the narrative a little bit here, because like if we go through the main door, is there actually someone to greet us there? Like, I'm kind of assuming... Yeah, I assume we must need to light those. So I'm guessing we're going to pick up items that will help us out. So we're going to pick up a lighter to light the torches. We're going to pick up a crowbar to open up the, I don't know, whatever that is, the mine shaft. Let's... You know, it's 8:20. I mean, we've probably had breakfast, right? I tell you what, I don't like that crack in that wall. That's probably subsidence. Oh no, maybe it's just ivy. Yeah, the art style... So it is definitely Time Splitters that it reminds me of. What is the game that comes to your mind when you see this kind of art style? Like, what would you even describe this art style as? Like, would you say that this is cell shaded? I don't know, because it's kind of like it's sort of sketched, isn't it? We have a lot of bird tables. That is probably going to feature later. Because who needs that many bird baths, right? Hello. The campsite. Due to the rules set forth in your great-uncle's will, you are not allowed to stay in the estate overnight. Luckily, however, your scouting skills have been put to good use to fabricate a very respectable off-site sleeping quarters. You may call it a day at any time from the Blueprint menu tab. This can be accessed after picking up the blueprint in the entrance hall. Right. I was probably supposed to go and get that first. Never mind. We will continue. Right, okay, so I'm not allowed to stay in the house overnight. Ah, ooh. A combination lock, you say? Like, there's always a chance we get one of these first time, right? No. Like, every now and then, it's worth trying your luck. Well, that looks like that's all that there's going to be on the outside of this estate, right? We have some really ominous looking shutters here. What even is this estate? Like, there's several entrances to just underground caverns. Is this the entrance to the estate? This is the road that runs up to the entrance, is it? Because this sort of looks like the... Yeah, this sort of looks like the approach, doesn't it? On a house this big, though, I'm surprised there wouldn't be a... what's the word? You know, like, on these really, really large, stately homes, you have a smaller house, which is by the gate, that, like, your gate person lives in. Wait! That clock is going. It's now 9:15. And you know what? I've just noticed that we're also still counting down. We've got 45 feet left. I guess that's just how tired our character gets with their exploring before they have to call it a day. Searching the estate can be exhausting. Each time you enter a room, you will lose a foot. When you no longer have any feet left, you will be too tired to continue searching the manor and must call it a day. Right. Open only in the event of my death. Simon, welcome to Mount Holly. You may not remember, but I have fond memories of your many visits here as a young boy, and I hope these rooms provide you with as much amusement as it did in those lost summer days. By the time you read this, I will assume you are fully aware of my last wishes and all the details of the bequest. Please do not mistake my intentions in giving you this challenge as a lack of confidence. I assure you, nothing could be further from my mind when I chose you as my heir. With that said, there are a few ground rules of this commission covered in the fine print of my will that I feel I should bring to your attention. No tools or items may be brought onto the estate from the outside. Tools and items found on the estate may not be taken off the estate. You may not stay overnight. I don't suspect that any of these stipulations should prove an impediment for someone as resourceful as yourself, but it is very important to me that you start fresh each morning and not rely on the successes of the previous day. One final word of advice. Do not assume the rooms you find today will be the same rooms you find tomorrow. These grounds have provided me a home for the last half-century, and even I am uncertain of which room lies beyond any particular door. Your grandmother used to say, don't go where the path leads. Abandon the path and go where you want it to lead. With all my love and wishes, best of luck. Herbert S. Sinclair. Okay. And what have we got here? You found the Mount Holly blueprint. This will serve as a useful map and inventory log during your adventure. You may access the blueprint menu by pressing Tab. Okay. Right, so that's how we call it a day. There's the entrance hall. Oh, interesting. So what's this then? Ah, right, so you collect rooms. So the antechamber is the chamber just before room 46? Bedrooms, hallways, green rooms, shops, red rooms. Okay. Right, first theory. If the rooms move around, particularly red rooms could be a reference to the 1980s movie Cube, where one of the main protagonists strongly has an aversion to going into rooms which are red. He says he doesn't want to go into the red room, he wants to go to the blue room. Okay. In Cube, there is one room which is outside of the cube that the cube rearranges itself, and that room ends up in the correct place to exit the cube once every kind of period or whatever. So you have to find the cube that's going to end up outside the house, and then when the cube... Now, presumably, the rooms rearrange themselves overnight, and we can't stay overnight, so that's not going to be, like, exactly analogous, but I wonder if that's homage or reference. We have an ace of spades here, and a clock which continues to tick forward. Well, those two require keyholes, so without any loss of generality, let's have a wander through here. Oh, interesting. Bedroom. Whenever you enter this room, gain 2. Closet. You get 2 items. Or hallway. I mean, so the hallway has 2 exits to it. So you effectively multiply up the number of rooms you have. Because these two have got keyholes. I'm not sure we can even get into those anyway. Hello. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Okay, we are going to start taking notes. And we're going to start placing our notes on our Miro board here. So here's our blueprints notes. Doors in the west wing are more likely to be locked. Are those clues going to be different over time? I guess we'll find out. Do we want a parlour, which has a puzzle piece, plus 1 key, 1 diamond and 2 coins? Or corridor? Corridor is always left unlocked. I guess let's take a storeroom so that we can get a key. This is interesting, isn't it? So we get a coin, a key, and a diamond. And is there anything else in here of interest? Like, we've got a puzzle piece, we've got a globe stand, we have a picture of a bat, picture of a bath. I tell you what, squad goals, become rich enough to store your art in stacks like that. Let's try this one out then. So what do we get? A closet, a bedroom, or a nook plus 1 key. Well, let's... Wait. How many... We don't have any rooms which give us a straight-on corridor. So do you have to manipulate the way you're going? Because obviously you can't have a room which turns to the right, because then you'd be outside the front of the house, wouldn't you? So do we have to choose our path based on which rooms we're hoping to obtain? And do we always enter rooms from the bottom of these pictures? So, for example, if you needed the bedroom to have the exit pointing to the east, you'd actually have to approach the bedroom from the north. Let's take the bedroom and give us a +2 on here. Do we have anything in the bedroom? We have a 10 on a dog tag. We have another pawn here. Greetings from Reddington. This is also bedroom rank 1 as well. So I'm kind of unclear actually, like how much of this is exploration and how much of this is like trying to manipulate the rooms. I kind of want to branch still, yeah? So should we take corridor? Well, I don't know. Maybe let's get 2 items in the closet. It means we have to do a big walk back, but... A single ivory die. While drafting, you may use the dice to roll new floor plans. A functioning metal detector gives you greater chance of finding keys and gold. Right, so I don't have to use it. It's just interesting. Okay. So, let's have a little look. So my metal detector. So will I keep that? I guess I'll keep that for the following day. Oh, I'm already in the corner. That's why. Right, so I need to go all the way back to the entrance hall. So it's going to be very important to bear in mind that this house is always, question mark, going to be 5 by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 5 by 9. Yeah, okay, right. 45 rooms. So if this is antechamber, is the 46th room just up here? Maybe we should just be making a beeline for there, then. Okay. Ah, you can use the dice to redraw floor plans. Right, so because that one ends up as a thing. And of course, you can't put a room out that's going to have an exit to the right, because we know to the right of us is going to be the storeroom, which doesn't have a door on that side. Oh, interesting. Interesting. So maybe we should take the parlour. No, let's take the spare room, right? Because this gets us all the way, sort of all the way through, doesn't it? Is it just spare? It is literally just a spare room. So nursery, corridor, or guest bedroom. Gem requirement. Gem requirement for the nursery. Whenever you draft a bedroom, gain 5. Oh man, that's actually like really good, isn't it? But that puts another dead end here. But go on. All right, and we'll head back. So is there anything? We've got another chess piece. Oh, hello. Oh, there we go. The Red Prince by Marion Marigold. There was a red prince who sat on a red throne. He had a red crown made of rubies and a red castle made of stone. The prince had a love for all things red. It's the only true colour, the prince often said. He could not stand the sight of a canary or a crow. He could not stand the white of a swan in the snow. Really? Is that all there is? No. And he never looked up for fear of the view. He had heard that the sky was not a red hue. So he always had a book to turn his eyes down if he was ever outside when the clouds weren't around. And do you know which book the prince always had? The one that made him happy whenever he was sad? A story he had read in the bath and the bed, and maybe you can guess with the clues that we have said. It was the story of a boy who also wore red, and he looked like our prince from his toes to his head. And as you, my reader, might already assume, this book is quite near you, in fact, in the same room. A story about you, if it needs to be said, about a red prince and his book, the red book we just read. Creepy vibes. Okay. So it seems in general you can't really interact with drawers and things. So it doesn't really look like we're hunting around for objects so much. It kind of feels like we are more just using the rooms in a kind of roguelike fashion. Okay, we have to use the office, otherwise we are going to be stuck. But we can't because we have no gems. Right? So if we use either of these, we can't go any further. So let's redraw our floor plans. Parlour or pantry? Well, we don't know what the coins are used for, right? Let's take the parlour. I mean, we don't really know what the puzzle pieces are used for either. This box is one of the 2 empty boxes. 2 boxes in this room are empty. There are 3 boxes in this room. A rather curious wind-up key, a component of the parlour game. Dear Herbert, it was a great honour receiving the invitation to dine at your estate with the Oldhams this past Thursday. If I'm being frank, it had been quite a while since we had been seen in decent society, and we were beginning to worry that my wife's wit had lost its charm. I have no delusions that my company is rival to hers. If I can refresh your memory, we both spent much of that evening discussing our mutual love of games and puzzles, and I have mentioned to you a rather singular parlour game I had played some years back involving 3 boxes of different colours. You had pressed me to write with the particulars of this game when I found the time, and I have included with this letter all the details you will need to share with guests should you be inclined to play this confounding game. Always your friend, M. Lowry. Now, Lowry, the biggest Lowry I know in media is Brazil, which was a great movie, really, really good movie, and had a huge number of famous people in it, like doing cameos and so on. The name of the main protagonist currently escapes me, however, but like Robert De Niro's in it, like in a cameo, and so is Bob Hoskins. Yeah, I can't remember their names. A couple of the old Monty Python guys are in it. Really good movie, Brazil. Right, there will always be at least 1 box which displays only true statements. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only false statements, and only 1 box has a prize within. The other 2 are always empty. Okay. So, let's go to our notebook here, shall we? And we're going to graph this out. First of all, though, let's have a little look in the purse. What do we have? Each time you collect 3 coins, earn an additional coin in interest. That is not how interest works, but okay. Now, what we have is there are 3 boxes in this room. Do you know what, this actually looks like it might be quite straightforward, but we will, in the interests of labouring the point, let's make sure we have it covered. Yes. So, there will always be at least 1 box which displays only true statements. At least. Okay. There will always be at least 1 box which displays only false statements, and only 1 box has a prize within. The other 2 are always empty. So, okay, now what do we have? There are 3 boxes in this room. Well, that is a true statement. 2 boxes in this room are empty. That is a true statement. So that must be a false statement. This box is one of the 2 empty boxes, which means the thing must be in here. Yeah? Okay. Now, if it weren't, let's sort of do a kind of proof by contradiction direction. If it wasn't in here, then this box must be one of the ones which is true. Okay? Is there a 4th box in this room? Right? Is it absolutely the case that there are only 3 boxes? Involving 3 boxes of different colours. Okay, I think we're reasonably confident then that it does have to be this one. Hey, 2 gems. Not bad. So, what are we going to get? Okay, interesting. So what happens with the den, then, given that there's a door to the right of that room. Like, we can't take the best bedroom, and I don't think we can take the nook. I think it has to be the den, right? Ah, it's a blocked up door. Interesting. Another pawn. So, some rooms have puzzles. We've only taken one room that has a puzzle so far. I see. But other rooms, if they don't have puzzles, they kind of don't have anything in them, I suppose. Unless they have, you know, clues toward other puzzles. Okay. Security's pretty nice. West Wing Hall, I also kind of don't hate. View inventory of all items currently in the house. I mean, I mostly kind of want to see what that even does. Ooh! We get a story beat. We've been there. Interesting. And kind of creepy. What is it? Lockpick kit will occasionally be able to unlock some normal doors. Well, that's handy. We've got a whole bunch of things to read. Staff notice. Effective the first week of December, payroll for all live-out and seasonal staff will be managed electronically. As your attendance will no longer be registered at morning roll call, it is doubly important that you do not fail to clock in and out at one of the electronic computer terminals on the estate. 2 of these terminals can be found at security, where the punch clock used to be, and in the laboratory. Any questions or concerns regarding this process should be directed, as always, to our house manager, Mrs. Babbage. Terminal password begins with an S, but it's kind of hard to make out. However, we are going to take a note. We're going to take a note of that. Look, it's a picture of us. And what's that E then? What's that E? Because that is where we are right now. So is this a room which doesn't move? Until further notice, the antechamber has been unlocked and access levers are no longer required to grant entry. keycard access security doors are more likely to appear in the higher ranks of the estate. Again, I'm not really sure what this ranking system is because we're down to rank 2. Whereas previously we were in a room that was rank 3. I think the nursery was rank 3. Likewise, as a redundant security measure, normal doors in the estate will also be more likely to be locked as you progress north. Fine. Blue memos equal true, red memos equal lies. What's this? Unless written by hand. Man, okay. So, that's a red memo, right, which means it is a lie. Yeah. And similarly, it would be doors in the east wing are more likely to be locked, would be therefore the implication, right? Incidentally, I do appreciate, thank you very much developers, for keeping the music going. We've got a knight up there. There's definitely something with the chess piece is going to happen. Keeping the music going whilst I'm fiddling around in another application, right? In my note-taking application, because it's incredibly disruptive for the recording, for the music to constantly be stop-starting whilst I go and do something else. Welcome to Mount Holly Security. Press enter. The following is a detailed list of items currently in the house that we have yet to be collected. This list will be updated as new rooms are added. Fruit. Interesting. Okay. Security doors are doors within the estate that can only be unlocked with an electronic keycard. The keycard system is currently operational. Security level medium, offline mode locked. The security level determines the amount of keycard security doors that will be deployed in your estate. E.g., you should expect to see 1 or 2 security doors with a low setting, 5 or 6 with a high setting. Turn it low. Offline mode locked. This mode determines the default setting of the security doors will be set to if power is lost during a blackout, for example. Right, so we might have to cut the power at some point. As a general safety rule, offline mode should be set to unlocked if any staff are working on the estate. Great. We don't know the terminal password. Okay. Hey, look, there's a vault here. Now we could take the door south, which would be kind of interesting, but maybe we just leave that corner room. I have a feeling just corridor, right? Food for sale. I think corridor to just get us further north would be good. So just hit us up with a corridor. Now in our last corridor there was a memo waiting for us. No such luck here. Wait, what? Oh, we are on the edge of the house. We are on the edge of the house, okay. West Wing Hall. Right, we can't... These are both dead ends. These are all dead ends. Ooh, unless we could open the garage door to the outside. But let's take West Wing Hall so that we have other paths still. This is a rank 4 room. Staff notice, 1983. Out of respect for the late Lady Clara Epson, the West Wing will be closed until further notice. While the floor plans associated with this wing have not been removed from the pool, we ask that staff members refrain from drafting them during this period of mourning. Likewise, any... And the bottom of the note has been cut off. Yeah, we've seen an ace of spades elsewhere, haven't we? So I feel like we're going to start taking note of these. Let's, this is West Wing Hall. Yeah, the ace of spades, presumably the entrance hall, is always where it is. Do you know what? I'm going to just pop myself slightly up from where I usually am so that you guys can actually see the rank and name of the room we're currently in. Okay. Given that we now have an option here, if we get garage here, we're going to take it. Shoot. Lavatory, pantry, nook. The lavatory... Wait. Hang on. The lavatory is a red room. And we've not drafted any red rooms yet. Purple have been bedrooms. Blue have been rooms with things in them. Oh, go on. Let's see. Is a red room just explicitly something with nothing in it? We have an out because we have the West Wing Hall that we can go to. Yeah, it kind of looks like there's nothing in here. So, yeah, maybe that theory is correct, that red rooms are literally just dead-end rooms that don't do anything for you. However, given that there are only 45 rooms to play with, maybe you do have to strategically place red rooms to avoid them being in the pool later for your selections. Now, how's this going to work? Because none of these have an entrance. None of these have an entrance to the right, to the left. Whenever you enter the chapel, lose 1 coin. And the bunk rooms are dead end. So let's take chapel. Oh! Now, it's whenever you enter, you lose a coin. So we don't want to be coming to and from this room very much. Okay, right. I've got to have a think about like how some of these rooms are laid out then. So, as the rooms were presented to us, it was the direction we were facing. So, it's actually rotated the room round. Are these rooms always going to be the same way up? Or do you always enter this room from this door? Interesting, okay. So, yeah, there's a bishop. We've got numerals under here. Chef, farmer, horse rider, chimney sweep. I think we're going to take some pictures of these, right? Because this is clearly going to be a puzzle later. So we've got sort of like a knight. A maid is number 5. And then we've got like a tiller. And we've got a window which is behind. We've got a window which is behind this that you can't see. Don't know if that at the top is going to particularly be anything, but we will take a picture of it. Okay. No idea, like, when that's going to be useful. I don't think there's any point going down right now, because that has to end up being a dead end. The door is locked. I think we just use our key, right? Well, we should certainly not take the walk-in closet. We will take the pantry gives us coins. 1 star for each time you've drafted observatory. The pantry appears to arrive fairly commonly, right? The game is constantly trying to give us pantry. So, that's interesting, because that's not Earth, right? The Fixed Stars. The Stargazer's Companion to Constellations by Richard Witt. Preface. This book contains a complete star base, a list of constellations and the observed effects that accompany the appearance of each one. Depending on the number of stars that can be seen in the sky on any given day, different constellations of various sizes may be visible, sometimes more than one on a single day. This book, a solid base for astronomy, will help you easily identify these constellations, impress your friends, and discover the joy of stargazing. North Star, 1 gold. The Twins, 2 trunks have been added to the entrance hall. The Slice, +3 steps. Diamondus Minor, 1 gem. The Southern Cross, rooms with 4 doors are more common today. Farmer's Apple, apples are extra delicious today. +1 key for Clavis the Key. Diamondus Major is 5 gems. Draxus the Dead, dead end rooms are more common today. The Sale, everything's 50% off. Glorious Bloom of the Sky, green rooms are more likely to contain special flowers today. Huh. And do we get to try and make an observation? Not really, it's the middle of the day. But okay, we have a... Wait, we have 1 star. So does that mean if we have 1 star, is this just... We have North Star. Like, this is a cumulative set of benefits for every time you draft the observatory? Maybe? Oh no, what are you doing? Hang on. Keep spinning. 1 more. Okay, what do we see? Cool. So did we gain it? I don't know. Let's assume we gained it. Well, my friends, what an interesting game. But that's going to be all we have time for episode 1 of Blueprince. A very intriguing game. We haven't reached the end of day 1 yet. In fact, we're not even close to reaching the end of day 1 yet. We still have 32 steps to go. If you enjoyed this episode 1 of Blueprince and you'd like to see more of this series, do please hit that like button. Consider leaving me a subscribe if you found this episode entertaining, and I will see you next week for episode 2. Bye for now.